Congratulations on the birth of your new child, Nick Cannon. Scheduled tweet. Hi, welcome to Open Mic, the show where we find ways in order to shine a bright light on all the exciting and brand new things happening all across the DMV. By the way, I know those were some other stories that we had in the open. Just trying to make sure that you're still on your toes because it's been a while. But you know, we always like to showcase things you're not likely to see anywhere else. I'm from gorgeous Prince George's, and now I spill the tea in DC. So you know these jokes come from a place of love. Or do they? Let's start things off here in DC, where the city has submitted a raise permit to gain the necessary authorization to begin the demolition of RFK Stadium.
WUSA 9 was first to get our hands on the demolition contract signed by the city. It includes an asbestos and hazardous materials abatement plan. And that plan has diagrams of RFK filled with that cancer-causing material.
Hazardous materials, you say? So that means the team was toxic before Dan Snyder. Looks like there was a precedent. I wonder if the team really listened to a lot of Future. At least at RFK, FedEx Field has absolutely no excuse for being as toxic as it's been. The site of Washington football's glory days will soon be no more. Now, I want to be sad, but I mean, have you seen how rundown RFK is now? If you have, you know this is a mercy killing. Put it out to pasture. That land actually could have been a really cool location for a new stadium, but Snyder seems to have burned every bridge imaginable and scorched the earth beneath his feet. Snyder's scorched earth goes all the way to Indianapolis, so you know it's not likely. Now, I'm just happy to see that the mighty RFK Stadium is finally being laid to rest with the dignity befitting 3 Super Bowls. Oh yeah, y'all remember how dignified we used to be and feel as fans of this organization? This building deserves better than to go out like a big old dirty air filter. Let's head to California for this next story, where a cannabis company called Dreamfields Brands is being sued for allegedly lying about how potent their products are, which means this has to be the most pothead lawsuit I have ever heard of. The plaintiffs appear to have a case, though. Multiple studies showed that Dreamfields products have contained less THC than advertised. So it means those fields aren't that dreamy after all. Maybe like a light snooze. Did Dreamfields really think they could pull a fast one on hardcore stoners? I mean, they might believe the earth is flat or do mental gymnastics on Kanye's behalf. More on that later. But these people know their weed. They're coming for every T, H, and C that they are owed. Those Dreamfields are about to deal with a nightmare. They better find that missing THC or prepare to pay for everybody's weed in the form of a class action settlement. I can hear it now. Have you or a loved one paid for extremely strong Dreamfields THC only to receive a package full of Fool's Gold Reggie, making you wonder if you've actually progressed at all since college? These are the sticks and stems I had sophomore year. If so, you may be entitled to compensation. Let's head to Iran for this next story, where a 94-year-old hermit named Amu Haji, also known as the world's dirtiest man — that's crazy, I could have sworn that was Future — unfortunately, he has passed away just months after his first wash in decades. Now, he was single, obviously, and now Haji believes that if he cleans himself, he will get sick. Now, considering he died after a cleaning, it'd be pretty easy to subscribe to that filthy logic and say something washed away his life force, but that would also be irresponsible. The man was 94 years old. Anybody who's lived that long covered in dirt has Wolverine's immune system. He is the real-life version of Pigpen from Charlie Brown. It was most likely just his time to go. It is hard to make it to 94, whether you are clean or you're dirty. So this is still a huge accomplishment, I must say. Rest in peace to Amu Haji. Now, for all you viewers out there, don't you look at this story and get any kind of inspiration. Y'all keep washing y'all's behinds. There's no correlation between longevity and stank. What good is living that long If nobody wants to come within 20 feet of you, please continue to bathe, brush your teeth, and use deodorant. The world's dirtiest man might not have wanted it that way, but the rest of us do. I chose this last story, by the way, from the village of Lichtart of Casterly, Belgium. I enjoy it. Lichtart of Casterly, Belgium, because we need a palate cleanse, or really a cleanse of any kind after that last story. This past Sunday, the 13th edition of the Pumpkin Regatta was held, where people competed in a kayak race in hollowed out large pumpkins. Gord have mercy. You know, if you asked me what was going on in Belgium at pretty much any point in time, it would probably look something like this. This is exactly what's going on in my brain when I even think of Belgium. Belgium takes pumpkin spice season clearly to the extreme. This looks ridiculous, but it makes more sense than what we do with pumpkins this time of year. At least these things float. A jack-o'-lantern just sits there on the porch, getting eaten by squirrels during the day, and if you live in D.C., rats at night. I personally feel bad for the pumpkins. They grow to Herculean sizes, only to be carved and paddled across the water by somebody's uncle with too much free time. Now, the good news is this event is sure to have a low carbon footprint since everything is biodegradable. Bad news is they had to do something with everything they carved out of all these pumpkins. So pumpkin spice season is going to be extended for the foreseeable future in Belgium. My favorite story today? That's easy. It has to be the Pumpkin Regatta because everything else was negative and or stinks.